Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I got to having to redo the power rankings here. The kid decided to come running down and well, yeah, doing what kids unfortunately do. So yeah, uh, kind of got to redo this. Plus, her kind of screaming into this. I bet might create a little bit of a havoc of a sound for people to listen to. So take two on this one. Power rankings, week 21, and yeah. So we'll start out with some teams down here who are basically going to be trying to get Macklin Celebrini, and starting out at number 32, they drop one spot, Chicago. So the Blackhawks, of course, they have Connor Bedard. They are hoping that maybe they can get Macklin Celebrini to pair with Connor Bedard, and yeah, the Blackhawks are just yeah, they're not a good team, but they weren't expected to be, and so here they are. They're back down at number 32. Number 31. These guys also moved down one spot. They their last 10 games have not been great. They've been 1-7-2 in the last 10. Even though they did win their last game, San Jose. So the Sharks, of course, they are looking at also getting Celebrini, and they're not real good right now, and they made a move that has infuriated a lot of fans. That I plan on doing a little video talking about that also, and exactly why they made the move they made. But that is for a completely different video. This week, though, they're number 31, and they're just kind of playing out the string. Unfortunately, they're not as bad though as we thought they were going to be. So that's at least a good thing. They're not as bad as we were thinking that they were going to be. We were debating whether or not they were going to be one of the worst teams in the history of the NHL. Now they're not quite there, but they're bad, but they're not that bad. Number 30. These guys also dropped one spot. They went. What did they do on the week? They went 1-2 on the week. They've lost 2 in a row. And again, these guys, they play hard. They really do. They're not getting the results. Montreal. So I mean, the Canadiens they're good. They're a hard playing team. They've got a good young core, and I got to think next year they will be better. At least I'm hoping next year they will be better. But yeah, this year, they play teams tough, but the results they're just not there this year. Number 29. Now these guys move up 3 spots because they actually had somewhat of a decent week, coming off of losing 14 in a row. So they actually move up 3 spots, and that is the Arizona Coyotes. So, they're better. They're still not great. I mean, they did go 2-2 on the week, so they went 500 on the week. So, they're definitely not as bad as they were the last couple of weeks where they lost 14 straight. But they're still not really good. But and they're another team. They're going to be in that race for Celebrini, and whether or not he ends up playing in front of 4,500 people or not, who knows? That whole thing is just another thing that keeps kind of getting. I don't know what's going on with that either. But again, that's a whole other topic for another time too. But Arizona, they're number 29. Number 28, staying in the same spot, They went. Ooh, where are they? There they went. They went 2-2 on the week. They're 5-5 in the last 10. They did lose their last game, so that's kind of why they stay in the same spot. Columbus. So the Jackets, another team that is going to be in the Macklin Celebrini sweepstakes, and again, another team we expected a lot more from. We thought they'd be better, and they're not. And again, this is a case of hoping for better things for next year. Number 27. These guys also stay in the same spot, even though they haven't played that great either, and they got off to a halfway decent start, but then the wheels fell off. They went 1-2 on the week, 4-5-1 in the last 10. They did lose their last game, Anaheim. So the Ducks, of course, they stay in this bottom row, and they're just. They're not as bad as some of these other teams, but they certainly can't get much worse. Well, yeah, they could actually, but they're sitting there at number 27, and we'll see what they can maybe do. Can they move up, or will they move down? I don't know. Number 26. These guys also stayed in the same spot. Not a lot of movement in the bottom, but it's the same. It's really basically the same teams. These guys they didn't win a game this week. They went 0-2-1. They're 2-6-2 in the last 10. They did lose their last game. Ottawa. So the Senators are another one of those teams. They're just kind of playing out the string. And another team that I thought was going to be better. I really did. I thought they were going to be better. And they're just not. And so yeah, Ottawa's sitting number 26 right now, and they didn't move up, they didn't move down, but they're still not great. Number 25. Now these guys moved down a spot, and again, I don't know what is going on with this team, but it's entirely possible they may move down. They may move down even further here this next week if they can't start getting something together. Pittsburgh. This team is just they're an unmitigated disaster right now. An absolute unmitigated disaster. I don't get it. I don't know. They've got all that talent. They've got Crosby, they've got Malkin, they've got Letang, they've got Carlson. Why is this? Why are they so bad right now? I don't get it. I really don't. To me, they should be way better than they are, and it's insane, And of course, a lot of armchair GMs, they've got Crosby being traded out of Pittsburgh. Crosby wants out of Pittsburgh. He wants to go to Colorado. That's not happening. There's no way that's happening. Yeah, he may enjoy playing with McKinnon at some point. That's not happening this year. I don't see that happening, period. But I don't know. But Pittsburgh, I definitely expected to be better. And if they're not careful, they're going to drop. They're going to drop even further down here. Number 24. These guys actually moved up one spot. Not really because they did anything special, because they went 1-3 on the week. And this is a team that I thought was definitely going to be better. New Jersey. So the Devils are, when the season ends and I go back and I look at my preseason division predictions on where I thought these teams would finish, this is one team I'm definitely going to be very, very wrong on. Didn't expect it, but boy, am I going to be wrong on them for sure. They fired their coach, and I don't know I don't know what they got to do. I mean, they went out and they got Jake Allen, but I don't know what more they have to do. They're right now. I don't see them making the playoffs, and I don't know. Even if they end up in the draft lottery, I don't know if they can get number one. I guess it depends on where they finish, but yeah, they're not. The Devils are just kind of like Pittsburgh. They're kind of a disaster right now. Number 23. Now, these guys moved down 5 spots. This is a team that was looking like they were going to make the playoffs just a couple of weeks ago. They were in a playoff spot just a couple of weeks ago, and they have really fallen off. They have lost 3 in a row. They went 1-3 this week. St. Louis. Well, the Blues are, this was a team, they were looking like they were going to make the playoffs. They really were. They were looking like a potential playoff team. And it's just all fallen apart. It has just all fallen apart for them. And right now they are in a 4-way tie with Calgary, Seattle, and Minnesota at 67 points, which is still 8 points behind the number 2 wildcard spot. So it's not looking good for St. Louis right now. And they were a team just a couple weeks ago. We're in a playoff spot. Not anymore. Number 22. These guys drop 1 spot. And they're looking better. They're playing better. They did go 1-2-1 this week. But they did win their last game, and they're 6-3-1 in the last 10. And again, they've been playing better. Buffalo. Where's this been, though? Why have they not played? They've had a good little. They've definitely played better lately. But where's this been? Why did this not happen 2 months ago? Why were they not playing? The way they've been playing? Why did they not do that like 2 months ago? I don't know. I don't get it. But I think it's good to see that they're playing well. But to me, it's too little, too late for them to make a run at the playoffs. But at least power ranking wise, they're sitting 22. Number 21, moving up 1 spot, kind of shockingly. Even though they went 2-0-1 on the week, 5-4-1 in the last 10. They did lose their last game in overtime, and it's just the state. It's a team that plays in a state where we're just not allowed to have nice things. Minnesota. So the Wild are, of course, they play in a state where when it comes to our sports teams, we're not allowed to have nice things. We're really not. And the Wild, unfortunately, they're a team that I don't think they'll make the playoffs either. But stranger things have happened, though, right? I don't expect them to make the playoffs. They're 8 points out of a playoff spot. I don't see it happening for them. And but they at least moved up a spot, so that's something to number 21. Number 20. These guys dropped 1 spot. They went 2-1 on the week, 6-3-1 in the last 10. They did lose their last game though, and this is another one of those teams that is in that 3-way tie or that 4-way tie for at 67 points. Seattle. The Kraken are another team that I definitely thought would be better, especially after last year. They made the playoffs, made a surprising run. They took the Dallas Stars all the way to 7 games. They were only 1 win away from the conference final last year, and this year, I don't see them making the playoffs. But they're only in their 3rd year, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, so Seattle right now is number 20. Number 19. Now, these guys move up 4 spots. Now, it's not that they had a great week. They went 2-1 on the week. I mean, they're 7-2-1 in the last 10. They have won 2 straight. Washington. Now, are the Capitals a team that could maybe make the playoffs? Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely possible it's definitely possible they could possibly make the playoffs, because they are only 3 points out of the number 2 wild card. And it's entirely possible Washington could maybe find their way into that last playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. Possible. Will it happen? I don't know. But seeing Ovechkin in the playoffs would always be a good thing, right? So, we'll see what happens. But so this week they are number 19. Number 18. Now this team, I kind of had to do a little bit of a correction with these guys, because they have just, I don't know what's happened, but man, have they dropped like a stone. They have lost 5 straight. They dropped 7 spots. Detroit. What in the world has happened to the Detroit Red Wings? This was a team that was looking like they were going to be a firm playoff team. At least it was looking that way. But now they're in danger. They may drop out of the playoffs if they don't get their stuff together, because they are only 2 points up on the team that is ahead of them here. And speaking of the team that's ahead of them, because this team has won 5. The Islanders are, they're only 2 points behind Detroit right now for the number 2 wildcard spot. Now, are you really going to want to play the New York Islanders? If the Islanders find their way in that playoff spot, are you really going to want to play the Islanders in the playoffs? Because that's a team that can... So, yeah, the Islanders are... they're number 17 right now, and they're looking dangerous. If they make the playoffs, you really going to want to play them? I don't know. We'll have to see, but they're knocking on that. They're knocking on Detroit's door for that number 2 spot. Number 16. Now, this is a team that they're not looking great right now either. And they have dropped all the way to the number 2 wildcard spot in the Western Conference, the defending champion Knights. So Vegas is the number 2 wildcard right now in the Western Conference. Now, the Vancouver Canucks right now are the best team in the Western Conference. If the playoffs started right now, they would play Vegas in the first round. Are you really going to have Vancouver favored to beat Vegas? I'm not. And Vegas just went out and made a move that has got a lot of people ticked off at them. But then again, a lot of people were ticked off at this same type of move they made last year when they went out and got Jack Eichel. They went out and they got Tomas Hertl from San Jose. That's a whole other video I plan to do too, talking about that deal and just why that deal particularly had to happen in the first place. But yeah, Vegas right now, they're not really in any danger of dropping out of the playoffs, because they have an 8-point cushion on 4 teams. So they're not really in any danger of dropping out of the playoffs, but they're not playing well either right now. And they gotta find a way to get that turned around. Number 15. Now these guys move up a couple of spots. They were, where were they? Yep, they were number 17 last week. They're number 15 this week, and it's LA. Now they are technically tied with Vegas point wise. They're tied point wise, even though Vegas has 2 more wins on them. LA does have 1 game in hand, but I believe. Okay, for some of you, the audio might change a little bit because those little microphones of mine. I kind of made the mistake. I didn't take the little plastic pieces off the off the little charger things there. So yeah, the both microphones kind of died because, well, they weren't really getting charged. So audio might be a little different in from this point on. But again, let me know how the audio sounds, at least from the first half of this video. But yeah, but number 14 this week. Now these guys move up 2 spots, and this is another team. They could be dangerous. They definitely could be dangerous. And they had a big win tonight over the Philadelphia Flyers. They went 1-2, or they went 1-1 on the week. They're 4-5-1 in the last 10. Now this is a team too. Are you really going to want to see these guys come playoff time? Tampa. So the Lightning are a team right now. They're another one of those teams. Do you really want to see them come playoff time? They right now are the number 1 wild card, which would mean right now, if the playoffs started right now, their first round matchup would be against the New York Rangers. Now that could be fun. That could be a very fun series if that were to happen. And yeah, so Tampa, of course, not exactly looking like the world beaters that they had been the last couple of years, but still a dangerous team nonetheless. And they're number 14 this week. Number 13. Now these guys went up a spot, even though they got destroyed by Tampa, and they went 1-1-1 on the week. And not a lot of people are talking about the fact that they got destroyed by Tampa. It's because their coach kind of had a nice tirade, Philadelphia. So the Flyers are a team that a lot of people still think they're going to drop out. Philadelphia is going to drop out of the playoff spot, drop out of the playoffs. I don't see it. I don't see that happening right now. Now, they are 3rd right now in the Metro. And if I go and look at the division here, if I go back and look at the standings in the Metro, I mean, is it possible they drop out? Maybe. Because the New York Islanders are just 4 points behind them. And the Islanders have 3 games in hand on them. So, I mean, it's entirely possible. But I hope Philadelphia doesn't drop out. I think it'd be great to see the Flyers make the playoffs. And I hope they do. I hope they do. And, we'll see what happens. I mean, I wouldn't mind it if the Flyers and Islanders both made the playoffs. Will it happen? Hey, who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, Philadelphia is still, they're still, they're still in that second row, and they're 13 this week. Number 12. Now these guys drop a couple of spots, even though they're kind of starting to fall. They're kind of starting to fall back too, and they might fall back even further. They went 1-2 on the week, 6-4 in the last 10, and they were a team that was looking like could potentially sneak into a playoff spot. Calgary. Now the Flames may drop out. Now the Flames are a team, honestly. I think the Flames right now are out of a playoff spot, and I don't know. I don't see them necessarily getting in the playoffs because they're 8 points behind. But who knows, you know? But and it's. I mean, they're still hanging in, but you know, I got a feeling if they keep playing the way that they have been, they're going to be dropping down. They might potentially be dropping down this board, and you know, they kind of got to be a little aware of that. Number 11. Now these guys also moved down 2 spots, even though these guys have had a great run. These guys have been on a great little run lately. They're 2-0. They went 2-0-1 on the week. They've won 2 straight again. They're 9-0-1 in the last 10. Nashville. So the Predators are a team right now. I think they're in a play. I think they are. Let's see. If I go back and look here. Go back. Let's look back at the wild card standings here. Nashville, I believe, right now is. Yep, they are the number 1. They're the number 1 wild card in the Western Conference. They are 2 points up on Vegas for the number 1 wild card spot. So, you know, Nashville's looking good. Nashville is they're playing really well lately. And is Nashville a team you're really going to want to see come playoff time? If you are either Vancouver or Dallas, are you really going to want to see potentially Nashville the way they're playing? I don't know. But the Predators this week, they're number 11. Even though, you know, they've had a good little run, they still drop a couple of spots because not because they're playing bad. It's just they kind of got passed by some of these other teams. Number 10. Now these guys move up 3 spots. These guys are playing well. They went, what did they go? They went 3-0-1 on the week, 5-1-4 in the last 10. They have won their last 2. Boston. So the Bruins are, of course, a team that they're not that they're only 1 point. I believe they're only 1 point behind out of first. Yep, they're only 1 point out of first place in the Atlantic Division. The crazy thing is, they have more overtime and shootout losses than regulation losses. They've lost 13 games in regulation. They've lost 15 in overtime or a shootout. So, yeah, Boston is kind of an enigma right now. Are they a team that's going to be dangerous come playoff time? Oh, yeah. And yeah, so, and the team they might end up playing in the first round if the standings were to stay the way they are now, they kind of have that team's number. And but yeah, so Boston right now this week is number 10. Number 9. These guys move up 3 spots also. These guys are on a nice little run. They went 3-0 in the week, 7-2-1 in the last 10. Winners of 3 in a row. Colorado. So the Avalanche, they've made some moves that have been pretty beneficial to them. And it's interesting because I saw some Avs fans who were also talking about the whole thing with Vegas and how, Vegas is doing all this stuff, and, they're cheating. Number 1, it's not cheating. And number 2, the Avs fans say, we're a first-class organization. I don't doubt that. I do not doubt that. But you're telling me the Avalanche wouldn't do the same thing? That, you're going to hold these guys out. You're going to hold these guys out until playoff time. Then you're going to reactivate them. You're telling me the Avalanche wouldn't do that same thing with Gabriel Landeskog? Yes, he's been hurt for 2 years. He has not played in 2 years. But he's back skating. From what I've heard, he's back skating. Do you really think Colorado's going to put him in before the playoffs start? I guarantee not. Come playoff time, you think Landeskog gets activated? Oh, yeah. So to say that, oh, it's not okay for Vegas to go and rearrange the LTIR and, use that loophole. But yet the Avalanche could do the same thing with Landeskog if they have the chance. So, Avs fans, don't complain about what Vegas is doing, because you're potentially going to do the same thing when it comes to activating your captain for the first time in 2 years, which will be great to see him back on the ice. It will. But, they'll activate him come playoff time. But, Colorado, though, they're on a good little run right now, and they're number 9. Number 8. Now, these guys drop one spot. Even though these guys are on a little bit of a good run, too. They went 2-0 on the week, 7-2-1 in the last 10. Winners of 2 in a row. But again, they drop one spot because some of these other teams just passed them. Carolina. So the Hurricanes went out and made a big move. They went and got Jake Gensel from Pittsburgh, which I think is a fantastic pickup for Carolina. Absolutely incredible pickup for Carolina. And yeah, Carolina's one of those teams. I think they could be a team that could be very dangerous come playoff time. And, they went to the conference final last year. Could they get back to the conference final this year? It's possible. We'll have to see. But yeah, right now, they're on a nice little run, and they're currently 8th. Number 7, dropping 2 spots. These guys, they went 2-2 on the week, 7-3 in the last 10, but they're in danger of dropping and losing home ice advantage potentially in the first round, and that's Winnipeg. So the Jets they're right now still in second place in the Central Division. They're 4 points behind Dallas, but they're tied with Colorado. Now, the Jets have 2 games in hand on Colorado and 3 games in hand on Dallas. But, I honestly would love to see the Jets find a way to win that division, because I think a first-round matchup between Dallas and Colorado would be amazing. But, right now the way Dallas is going, I don't think anybody's catching Dallas right now in that division. I could be wrong, but yeah, Dallas is on a heck of a roll right now, and Winnipeg is 4 points back. And again, I'd love to see them find a way to potentially win that division, but we'll have to wait and see. Number 6. Now this team dropped 2 spots also. They went 2-1-1 on the week. They're 5-3-2 in the last 10. They did lose their last game in a shootout, and that's Edmonton. So the Oilers are firmly entrenched right now in second place in the Pacific Division, which, considering where they were at the start of the season, yeah, they're doing well. And it'd be interesting if the playoffs started right now. Oh, gee, 3rd year in a row it'd be Edmonton, LA in the first round. So yeah, if the playoffs started right now. But yeah, so Edmonton, they're currently 6th in the rankings, and they're doing pretty well. And again, they're pretty entrenched in that second place in that division. Number 5. These guys moved up 3 spots, and this team is firmly entrenched in first place in the Pacific Division, and that's Vancouver. So the Canucks are a team that is kind of a surprise. I don't think anybody expected them to be as good as they are. But yeah, their reward right now, if the playoffs started right now, their reward would be a first-round matchup with Vegas. Do you really think Vegas is going to be the underdog in that series? Not a chance. And I'd love to see Vancouver make a run. I would. I think this is they're having a great season, and they re-signed Pettersson to a long-term extension, 8 years, and I want to see the Canucks do good. I really do. I'd like to see them do well. I'd love to see them make a run. But whether or not they play Vegas in round one, we'll have to wait and see. But right now though they're still in the top 5. Number 4. Now these guys drop a spot. They've been doing well too. They're 7-3 in the last 10. They went 2-2 on the week. They did win their last game. Toronto. So the Leafs, of course, some people will keep looking at the fact that look where the standings are. The power rankings aren't dependent on where the standings currently are. It's how the team is playing that particular week. And Toronto is still playing well, but now, I mean, are they as good as some of these other teams record-wise? No, but again, it's all in how you're playing this. It's all how you're playing this particular week. And this week, Toronto, they went and dropped a spot, but they're still in the top 5. Number 3. Now these guys move up 3 spots, and this team is on a nice run too. They went 3-0 this week. They've won 5 straight. Dallas. So the Dallas Stars they're 4 points up in the division. They're only 2 points behind Vancouver for number 1 in the entire Western Conference. So is it possible Dallas overtakes Vancouver in the West? Yeah, it's entirely possible, because Dallas is on a heck of a roll right now. And are they a team? Are they a team that I could see come out of the Western Conference? Oh yeah, I could definitely see it. Will it happen? Who knows? But Dallas is on a nice little run right now. Number 2. Now these guys, even though they only went 1-1 on the week, they're 7-2-1 in the last 10. They stay in the same spot. That's the New York Rangers. So the Rangers are, the Rangers have had a good, the Rangers are on a nice little run. They are leading the Metro Division. They're 4 points up in the Metro Division on Carolina. And they've played the exact same amount of games. And the Rangers they're a dangerous team too. Are you really going to want to play them in round 1? It's definitely going to be interesting for sure to see what the Rangers can do come playoff time. Can they hold on to the division lead? It's entirely possible. But yeah, the Rangers this week stay in the same spot. And also, number 1, staying in the same spot, the team that to me is playing the best hockey in the entire league, Florida. The Panthers are a team right now that, to me, are on a mission. They are on a mission to not only get back to the Stanley Cup final that they made last year, I think they're on a mission to win it. I think they want to win the whole thing. They want to not only get back there, they want to win it. And they are absolutely they're incredible right now. They've won 44 of 65 games, and they're incredible right now. They are really looking good. And are the Panthers a team you want to see come playoff time? Boy, I wouldn't. Are they the favorite right now to potentially come out of the East? Yeah, I would say so. Will they? I don't know, because playoffs are a completely different animal. But yeah, this week Florida again, number 1 in the power in my power rankings. And I'd love to know what you guys think. Who do you think Florida deserves to be number one still, or do you think it's one of these other teams? And let me know. Let me know in the comment section. Who do you think's too high? Who do you think's too low? Who do you think is right where they should be? And how many people will say I'm completely crazy with where I have some of these teams? That's always fun to see. But please like this video. Please also subscribe to the channel. That would be greatly appreciated. And yeah, if you would like to share this video or any of the other videos on the channel, go right ahead. Whether it's jersey unboxings, power rankings, whatever, any of my rants, any of my jersey videos, whatever, anything you want to share from the channel. If you want to share with friends, family, whoever, go right ahead. That would be greatly appreciated. Let me know again in the comments section. Again, please like and subscribe if you so choose. And I'll see you guys later.